Now, the deadly Pretoria train crash has once again thrust the spotlight on commuter safety. At least 3 people died in last week's collision, and there have been a number of crashes in recent months. In June, a train collision in Elandsfontein in Ekurhuleni claimed 1 life. Over 100 people sustained injuries when a train crashed in Selby in September. Now, eNCA's Lindokuhle Xulu joining us live from Soweto this morning, just to give us an idea of what the commuter concerns are. Lindo, a very good morning to you. So you find yourself out and about at a train station in Soweto, especially almost a week after this deadly crash train accident in Pretoria. What are people saying? What are their fears? Are they wary of getting on a train at almost a week after this accident?
Well, you work almost a week after that incident in Pretoria, but it hasn't deterred people, in fact, from using this mode of transport. If I can just flip my camera here, I will show. There are people stationed outside this particular station, and as you can see, everyone just waiting for those trains. Yes, last week we did get confirmation from Metro Rail that they have been investigating the matter in terms of what exactly happened, with that deadly train crash that happened in Pretoria. But what we got is a sense that they are not ruling out that it was human error. They also made it clear to us that, in fact, there are several stations, particularly around Pretoria, that have been operating on a manual authorization method, which means that they do not see it on their radars in the control room. What they do is a person, individuals that are working in that particular, in that particular control room are the ones that are authorizing these trains, and therefore they're saying it is highly likely that it might just be human error. But one of the things they've raised is the concern of the fact that there has been a lot of theft in several stations, and the Minister of Transport, in fact, Blaine Zimande, raised the question of security that is commissioned, in and around these areas to ensure that there is no theft and that people are safe. But I can tell you that there isn't a lot of option for some of the people here, and they're saying that, if they don't use a Metro Rail, then it would put a dent in terms of their finances. They do not have any alternative, and that is why you see several people, in fact, just coming in these stations in their hundreds just to ensure that they get to their respective destinations. But then the question remains, what exactly happens? And in terms of such an accident where 2 trains are in fact in one railway. But the excitement behind me is the train that is going to Johannesburg at the moment, and hundreds of people, in fact, using these. I'll just show you the visuals as the train comes nearby to show you the people here, Iveka, that will be accessing and still using these trains to ensure that they get to their respective workplaces.
Now, we had a story earlier, Lindo, and speaking to the family of 2 of those victims, the couple that died in that crash last week. They are quite adamant that they hold PRASA responsible for what happened there. Just judging by, what commuters feel, is it Metro Rail, is it PRASA, is it cable thieves? Who do ordinary commuters actually think is responsible for what is going on on the railway lines?
Well, on face value, Uveka, Metro Rail is the one that is providing, this service, and people are saying it is indeed Metro Rail and its negligence. And we're talking about a railway service provider here that was given a court order to comply with the safety regulations of the railway safety regulator. And I'm going to go inside, Rebecca. I am using this train as well. But a lot of people are saying that Metro Rail is indeed the one that is responsible for this. But as you can see, we are inside this particular train, and we understand that these trains house about 2,000 people in the capacity of such trains. But of course, the question again is the fact that Metro Rail had a court order, in fact, to comply with the railway safety regulator, and that such an accident happens a month after that court order is another thing that needs to be answered. But what we understand so far from Metro Rail and PRASA is that there are investigations that are ongoing to determine exactly what happened in that particular accident.
Okay, so you are moving, you're heading to your destination, Lindo. You are going to Johannesburg, you say. So, just quickly, what you've seen in terms of condition and state of these carriages and the trains, just your experience so far, just describe for us what you've seen in terms of the conditions.
Well, Uveka, I have used the train, in fact, quite a number of times. In fact, when I was in university, we used to commute from Soweto to Pretoria. And what I see now is, in fact, that these trains are much better than what I thought I'd find, where you find those ones with yellow seats, but comfortable seats, I can tell you, and a lot of people just sitting now. But of course, this is the first station, meaning that there are more people that will be getting on other stations, several stations, before we reach Johannesburg and then change to go to Pretoria. But what is actually happening now is that people are seated. There is a lot of people still. It seems as if it is going to fill up soon. Several stations to go, which then raises another question of how do they, deal with the number of people that will be trying to get into this particular train, because a lot of people are commuting to Johannesburg, to go to their respective places. We see a lot of school kids as well that are using this particular train. But as far as it seems, it is a comfortable ride at the moment.
Right, we'll leave it there for now and let you take your seat. We don't want you falling over, Lindo, and we'll catch up with you a little later on en route to your final destination.